Okay.
Recording.
We will start on page 8, Role of the Players. Uh, in the world-ending game, players embody the point of view of their existing characters from the campaign that they wish to end. When it is a player's turn, they are the leading player. The leading player has agency in setting scenes and describing events as detailed in the rules of each game, called endings. All other players, including the GM, may enter scenes as supporting players, embodying other characters present in those scenes. Additionally, the GM takes on the role of the director. That's me. In the world ending game, the GM takes on the role of the director. The director has control over camera, pacing, lighting, framing, and focus of the world. At any point in any scene, the director may interject with a camera direction as detailed in starting play. On the director's turn as leading player, a player not in the scene may temporarily adopt the role of the director, borrowing the camera and interjecting camera directions instead. Uh, Playing the endings. Going around the table in a circle, players pick and create scenes according to the rules of each ending. The director begins the game with any one of the endings. Once this scene is over, the player on the director's right then selects a new ending of their choice, becoming the leading player. Now, we're not in a circle, so we're actually going to be going just down the list in Discord. So it'll go me, and then Kate, and then T, and then M, and then Al, and then Gaz, and then me. Uh, The current leading player always has narrative control in setting the scene and choosing how their character acts inside of it. As any other players, including the director who enter the scene as supporting players. Oh, read the read the words you're reading, Harley. Any other player who enter the scene as supporting players have control over their own character's actions inside the scene as detailed by the rules of each ending. The director controls the camera. Once the scene is concluded, the circle continues to the right. The next player becomes leading player. Players may also elect to skip their turn. Generally, the leading player remains the person who started the scene until its conclusion, but some endings switch scene control mid-game as detailed by their rules. Dice are used sparingly within the world-ending game, but may always be re-rolled for a different result. This is because you are not on one last adventure, and there are not any new stakes. You are saying goodbye, and it deserves to be the right farewell. A standard game will have a few scenes led by each player, but you may choose to end the game once everyone has had at least one turn, or keep going until it feels right. You will probably know when you are done, and everyone should have a chance to get that last scene in, but the director ultimately holds the power to end the story. Principles of play. Players, know what you want, trust your motivations, and flow from action to action and line to line. Make space for others to join in. Director, introduce your direction into scenes, then retreat to watch and listen. Set the pace and keep the rhythm. Everyone, treat the conversation like a piece of music. Find joy in the act of playing it to finish in concert with others. Uh, the camera. World ending game is cinematic, borrowing from conventions of film. Actions and scenes are framed by the camera. The director generally controls the camera, but may give camera control to another player when the director is busy embodying a character within the scene. There are camera directions. We all know how cameras work. We are not babies. Um, Playing online. Music. Playing music to an online group is not a solved problem. Pick a method and test it before beginning play. I do not have any music prepared for us. If you
Nor
feel
could
a
we play it with the recording.
nor well, the recording doesn't go public.
That's true.
Uh, However, if you feel a song matches the scene you want to do, you can just drop its link into chat and we can all listen to it as you do your scene. Um, skip through the alternate rule sets. Notes on style of play. Every table is a different play style, and you'll find your groove. But this game is written to be played fluidly, with few pauses for rule checks and speculation, or but what if hesitations. If you're not sure how a particular mechanic works, it is better to roll with it than to stop and make sure you are playing right. Many of the endings are a little more than conversational prompts. It is always okay for a conversation to move in an unexpected direction or to integrate new rules as you make them. In general, the world-ending game is a good place to take big swings. This is the very end of your story, and you don't need to worry about consequences down the line or what items to hold on to, or the possibility of being undercut by a failed roll. Instead, have a last dance you can believe in. Starting play, safety mechanics. Establish your rating. Now, this is Warhammer. It's bloody, it's violent, it's gory. We all already know that. This is absolutely a rated R kind of game. On that note, though, we have in the past excluded from our rated R game scenes of explicit material. We will continue to do so. I'm sorry, Kate, but
Oh
any
man.
I'm sorry, Kate, but any descriptions of Ostia's magnificent titties and
Must be R-rated or lower. I understand. I
or
had a
or
whole thing. So you can see it. I've got a whole sheet of paper written out about Ostia's titties. But okay, I'll just
uh
let that
Crumpled,
one.
thrown
That
in the
one can
bin.
and
just thrown in the
unfortunate
bin.
and unfortunately any mentions of Ratan's Schmeat are going to have to be
How
tastefully censored.
did you know I called it Schmeat? How did that? How do you know? I thought that was such a good word, and you just fucking. Now I just have to call it a cock and be done with it. God damn it.
Well, it was just logical because calling it Shmouda in that kind of voice was a bit too tacky for the end of the world.
It's true. It's true.
All right. Establish your lines and veils. Lines represent themes, behaviors, or events that never appear in the story and effectively do not exist in the world of the game. Now, we must, as always, remember that we are playing in the Warhammer setting, which means there are terrible, horrible things that happen. We've largely ignored those. The setting is rife with fascist motivation and basically wide-scale slavery, but those are not things that need to be discussed, obviously. They are there as a commentary on the politics of our real world, and I get enough of that from chuds on Twitter. Veils. Veils represent themes, behaviors, or events that do not appear on screen, but may exist in the world. These are pan-away or fade-to-black subjects. This is where Ratand, Schmeat, and Ostia's titties live.
Damn it.
And also, if you can somehow fit any other character's titties in, no one else did romance besides Kate. So, I don't know, maybe you guys got backstory characters I don't know about. Endings or prompts that touch on your table's lines or veils or are otherwise triggering may always be skipped. As always, the health of players is more important than the dramatics of a story. Care for those at your table above all else. Have a system in place to pause and reassess scenes. Lines and veils are not a good safety mechanic for every table. Use what works for you. If anything comes up that you don't want us to talk about or you don't feel comfortable participating in, just tell us. We're all friends
That shit
here.
in the chat, friends.
Yeah, we're all friends here. Nobody's gonna be a fucking punk bitch about it.
I've already been told I can't use my dramatic, sexy monologue, so like, how much worse could it possibly get?
Listen, you know what?
Getting ready to go
I
full
can't.
Zap Brannigan on us.
I
Two
can't
and a half
tell.
pages of grade A quality smut, and it's for what?
Listen, I'm sure this is a joke, but if it's not, send it to me, and I will see if it is tasteful enough to show up in the world-ending
it's
game.
absolutely tasteless. It's absolutely. It is fanfiction.net quality smut. It's fine.
All right. Summary of play. Before gathering, give everyone at the table a chance to familiarize themselves with this book. Y'all had 2 weeks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was time enough. Yeah.
Yeah, plenty. I thought about that a lot.
Who looked at it?
Yep.
I openly admitted I didn't, but I did the homework 10 minutes before class.
All right.
I've never seen this game before.
Yeah, you shut the fuck up. Start play. Clear your table, make yourself comfortable, get ready. Read the getting started section. We just did that. Complete the safety mechanics. We just did that. Spend a few minutes up till now. Which one is up till now? Up till now, take a few minutes to quietly answer the following questions about your characters and campaigns. You may wish to write these down for quick reference during the session. Optionally, you may do this individually before the session begins. We're already not here. On page 20, you as players will be answering the questions on page 21. I will be answering the questions on page 20. You have until 10 minutes after to think about this.
Notepad, my trusty friend. There you are.
Yeah, I was always one of those assholes who never studied for a test but had all the answers, so I'm okay.
I could do that for some classes, but not others. Like I had to study for math, but I could whip out a literary analysis like fucking nobody's
math
business.
doesn't count.
What do you mean
Math
that doesn't?
Witchcraft. Math is witchcraft. Doesn't count.
Oops, I meant to type demon there and somehow managed to type demo.
Demo.
Good day.
Dio.
Demo Prince, like he's just some wee Irish fella. Right there, I'm Demo. My dad's the king.
Why'd you?
It's nice.
Hold on. Don't upload these. These are private.
No, that was what you asked for.
What do you talk? Oh. Okay, I figured it out. Do I even have anything that can fucking open a .docs? What opens a .docs?
That's just a Word document, my guy.
I don't have Word.
Any
have,
word
Open
reading
Office?
program should, Open Office or Google Docs or.
Alright, give me a second.
I use Open Office because I'm a fucking weirdo that hates paying for things.
Believe me, if I did not get words through my work, I would not be.
Are you
I don't know how many
downloading a
people ask me at
program?
work.
No, I'm uploading it back to Google Docs.
This is
9
not,
times out of 10 when I'm at
this
work
is
and
not
someone's
worth
working
the
on a
bit.
laptop, that like...
Fuck you, Aaron.
This was definitely worth the bit.
I promised you 2.5 pages of grade A quality smut.
You did.
And I
You
delivered you 2.5 pages.
You even managed to fit in an exact representation of exactly how big Rattan Schmeat is.
Right? Don't say I did not do my homework.
Oh, so we're not doing Schmauda!
Schmauda! Actually, I do have Schmauda later on down the page, but it's in like white text, so no one can find it.
Jeez, this should have been typed through a condom.
It was. It made it really difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It actually really impeded my typing ability.
It's why her microphone's muted, because otherwise you'd hear the.
no.
0 out of 10. Everybody dislikes this.
Alright, we're all giggling and gaffing. Are we done?
Yeah.
I think so.
Emeron?
I said yes.
It didn't come through!
I said it
Go
when everyone
start in
else
his
was
ear.
talking.
Alright. Then we will move on to the actual game. Which begins on page... actually we have to scroll up now. Everybody go back to page... 5. You will find the endings, table of contents. Now, as the lead player, I will be going first. What do I want to do?
Harley is unprepared.
Hey!
I have had a very shut up.
Do you want someone else to pick one while you're thinking?
Sure, Kate, go ahead.
Bet. First up on the slate is Reversed Heist.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, stay with me. The soundtrack is. I have to close this very quickly in order to give you the soundtrack.
Fuck yeah, I'll put headphones on for this.
Yes. Hey, I know that guy.
That guy. Look at that
Hey, it's the
guy.
guy from the movies.
It's the guy from the movies.
I saw him in a film.
Once. Just once.
Alright, I'm setting it to loop. Let's do this.
So, reverse heist. The setup for you. Given that, from what I understand, Ostia is about to be crowned king of some or all of her planet.
She technically was already king, she's just now assuming the duties of it.
I'm assuming there's some kind of big ass ceremony and shit, which seems reasonable.
Absolutely.
Cool. And given that we are persona non-fucking grata on that planet, I'm gonna reverse heist some fucking ostentatious, like, gaudy, like, decorated chalice into her chambers for when she comes back to that, from when she comes back from that event.
Okay.
We need to get in, leave the chalice, get out without being murdered for being on the planet.
Excellent. So then I assume that your object is valuable.
Yes. I would say it's certainly valuable.
Excellent, excellent. The location is dangerous.
It is.
And it is definitely a holiday.
It is.
Are you inviting anybody along with you?
I am pitching this task for context, right? To do this cinematically. We do the thing where the audio for the episode fades in slightly before the visual does.
Excellent. I love it.
The Reservoir
then-
Dogs opening, as it were.
Yes, right? And it says, this is perhaps the most time-critical and important mission we have ever faced. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a huge ask. Everyone, computer, stop. Everyone will want to kill us, and frankly, everyone will want, and there's a massive thud as she, like, puts down this gaudy ass, like, the wrong Christ cup from Temple of Doom, or from Last Crusaders, rather. Like, the opposite of the one that the carpenter chooses. It is inlaid with gold and silver and various sparkly things. Like, it is over the top to the point of being deliberately heinous.
This cup is worth a full D10 profit factor.
Yeah, it is that vibe and 1,000 times worse. And it was specially made. And it's just the worst. She puts down, goes, I will not require any of you to make this journey with me. However, if you want to, I will always roll with you.
Claude raises a hand.
Yes.
I appreciate that you probably prepared that speech in advance, Captain, and it was very dramatic. Would it not be easier to secure invites to the party instead of sneaking onto the planet?
You remember the part where they want us for murder?
I didn't say they had to be invites for us.
Okay. Say more.
Well, and Claude holds up his left hand with an old, rather shitty signet ring on it and says, "This is a very important piece of jewelry because it is both extremely official and extremely unknown. No one knows who the fuck this family is. I could say I am anyone, and all we need to do is get through a couple of waves of flustered, tired wait staff who will see the ring, and I will say, my retinue. And they will go, yes, of course, sir. They will hand us champagne, and we will continue through on our way to put down this extremely beautiful chalice that you are returning to your friend.
Finn's gonna pick it up and turn it over and say, I was really hoping we tipped over the edge of it being beautiful, but there's not really time to add anything else.
The navigator takes out a hot glue gun and a bunch of like little doodads.
Starts bedazzling it on the
Bernie
fucking
pulls
snow.
out a bedazzler.
Yeah.
I think some of the death cult like snort liquid metal. Just get them to cough on it a little.
Just get them to...
We do have some time.
Occasionally
one of
they
them
will
will be up
scream. What do they call? I think they call it chrome. I don't know. They tend to yell things and then run into doors.
I've seen that too. It's very derivative. I just don't know what of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're doing fancy dress. I'm gonna turn to the others and go, in or temporary act.
Captain, if you're lucky, I might even shave.
Fucking Wolfman says.
We don't have time. How long away is the party?
It's, now.
Enough.
We'll just cover him in nair. It'll be fine.
And what? We'll, if we try and remove all of the hair from him outside of the vacuum of space, every single cooling fan on the entire station will be clogged again. And need I remind you, the Gene Stealer Union complained last time we asked them to clean all that out.
I just sort of figured that Milky had like returned to his normal self, but I'm happy.
I
For
don't
the
think
canon
they
to be that he's
can.
still
I
a
don't
giant
think
wolf.
that's a
Man.
thing.
Yeah, no, Wolfen is a one-way transformation.
Yeah, that's a one-way ticket, huh?
You're like still a person because you're not a full wolf, but you are also, now like 9 feet tall.
Side, the last time they saw you, you were not 9 feet tall and mostly wolf looking.
However,
very true.
That does mean that you are now passable for an actual space marine. Even what the fuck are space marine clerics called?
Librarians.
Librarians, yeah.
Yeah, well, no,
chaplain.
because a chaplain, and nobody's gonna tell a space marine chaplain that they can't show up to bless the wedding of such a prominent member of imperial nobility.
That's very true.
Fucking bet.
Captain, I think I'm gonna sit this one out.
You're not feeling
Well,
the
it
disguise.
was him trying to kill me that got us kicked off the planet in the first place, so, maybe I shouldn't be there.
He's dead.
Yeah? Because he tried to kill me. Kind of my fault.
makes
It's
it
always.
I
a
mean, I
little
did
bit
challenge
more
him to the race and all of.
that no him being a poor ass piss baby. Not your fault. You can stay out if you want to, but this I don't enjoy this. Go. I know that they tried to give you some like self-help manuscripts. I'm gonna need you to throw those out because I don't like this turn. That shit was not your fault.
That shit was not your fault.
All right, Katma, I'm with you then. If you're sure.
I'm 100% sure that shit was not your fault.
Okay.
Gonna turn around and look at our currently bedazzling crew.
23 has shown up at some point and has a small welding torch attached to one of his many, many arms.
Nothing makes me happier.
The
I think
navigator
it's
is
going to
like,
melt
of
all of
course
the
I'm
plastic
coming.
jewels.
Of course I'm coming.
Excellent.
I love to get dressed up.
We will, let's smash cut then.
Absolutely.
Proper Fat Boy Slim style to our entrance. I don't know what Claude's family regalia should look like though, so I'm gonna leave that to the costume department that looks suspiciously like Claude.
My Claude.
Oh, Claude already took the hit and is going to wear a like extravagantly large, like I'm talking peak of the French nobility right before they got beheaded, ball gown, because the crinoline just has to be big enough that he can A, walk, and B, it just has like a bit sort of mount inside. It has a little pocket near the front where the goblet just sits in a little cup holder. That way no one has to like stuff it down their trousers or hide it awkwardly behind their back or eat it and then try and poop it back out once we get inside.
I'm sure Malky, as the only person who could fit this in his mouth, thanks you for that one.
I'm so glad you said mouth.
All right.
Your grandfather had this watch.
You all.
Father's watch.
You all land. The camera pans over Ostia's city as your landing craft touches down outside the royal palace. You step out, Claude in the lead in his Regency fucking ball gown. Does Claude still have the turban on? Has he switched it out for one that matches the gown?
He has switched it out. He's still wearing some kind of headdress, but it's definitely fancier than his day-to-day one.
Excellent.
What's our
Claude,
color scheme? What's our color scheme, please, Claude?
Yeah, give us the color scheme.
Emerald green for sure.
Nice. Claude's in the lead. I imagine the group is in this kind of order. Claude's in the lead, backed by the captain on his left and Malkador on his right. And then the rest of the crew arrayed behind them. The doorman, the doorman. I guess he is technically a doorman. He doesn't really open the door. He just kind of pushes a button to open the door. But the doorman stops you and says, "Invitations." And at that exact moment, Kate,
Yes.
please find and roll a d6.
That's a 4.
Invitations. 4 succeeds, so you may continue.
May continue pulling out the invitations we totally have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Claude raises an
forged them.
eyebrow
It's
in
fine.
with the stare of someone who isn't used to being stopped at doors, and then looks back over at the retinue and waves a hand in that vague, like, oh, go on then gesture, and waits for one of them to bring forward the invitations. Claude can't carry it. He doesn't have pockets.
You know what? Valid.
Malky's going to pull the invitations out from his inner pocket and stand as close as he can to hand them over and just stare straight downwards as he does so.
Oh God. Him on Earth, you are. Compose yourself. It's a beautiful day, wonderful day. The doorman starts going through the invitation. Sees that all of it is in immaculate order.
Immaculate.
Immaculate. And he pushes his button. The doors begin to open. And he steps in ahead of you and announces, Clodimiro Kupfablum, Seneschal of Rogue Trader House El Rahith, and retinue. And you're in.
How does the captain feel about being called a retinue?
Captain's fine. She just forgot to remove the reference to her from that introduction.
From that.
I guess the captain isn't the one who was nearly arrested for doing murder, so it's fine.
To be fair, none of you were nearly arrested. You all got off planet pretty quick.
That's fair.
It's true. We just assume
captain...
they're gonna try and kill us.
The party is in full swing at this point. You are tastefully about 20 to 30 minutes late. In the distance, across the royal ballroom, you can see that Ostia is sat on a lavish gold and platinum throne with Rattan. Actually, not Rattan, because Rattan is on one of your ships right now, with one of her personal salamander marines on her left.
Would we have brought Rattan? Would have come with us, yeah.
No, because they would have known exactly who Rattan was the minute he set foot on
I mean,
planet.
I think he would want to be here for this, wouldn't he?
Rattan...
he's been released. Oh, he's been allowed like shore leave, so avoiding Rattan is 100% part of the goof.
Another thing to remember is that Rattan is his own rogue trader.
That's true.
He's gonna show up, but it's gonna be its own thing, because he can't show up as part of your crew. That would be deeply out of pocket. Deeply out of...
I'm gonna, as we're walking up, Vin's gonna rub shoulder or rub elbow with Malky, and then spend the next 5 minutes trying to pull wolf hair out of the, for some reason, fucking green velvet suit she decided to wear. She's like, I did not think this fabric choice through. I just didn't think it through, you know.
You were very distracted with the mental effort of not wearing your hat out in public, and for one, I am very proud of you.
My head does feel very cold. I don't like it.
All right. Next step of the plan, you have to make your way out of the ballroom and up to Ostia's private chambers. The only one of you who's ever been there is, of course, the captain.
Smash cut very briefly back to us around the little hologram projector thing, and if you can imagine a poor stickman drawing of a map, that bit in 3D as she tries to fucking exorcise. You know when they did those oh, this pen can 3D print. You could draw in the air with fucking plastic. That thing, like that, and she's just trying to draw this 3-dimensional model of this house.
Captain, 23D speaks up. Captain, may I take a crack at it, so to speak?
I mean, absolutely. Keep the flavor of what we've got so far. We've worked really. She's gonna look around the table, be like, we've worked really hard on this. I feel.
One of 23D's little mechadendrites is going to reach out from his robes. A small little, like, almost like an audio jack crossed with a hypodermic needle juts out of it and stabs into your bionic prosthetic. And you can feel him moving through your prosthetic up your nerve endings into your brain. And then another one plugs into the console, and building off of what you've drawn is a full 3-dimensional sketch of the palace.
I mean, I feel like we would have gotten here. I just like that we got here faster. Good job, everybody. Yep. That looks
You
the
do
same.
you do notice that on the route towards Ostia's room, it gets a little fuzzier and sketchier, and Ostia's room is actually just like kind of a blurry blob that's very... It looks like someone drew it while sitting on a Sibian.
Excellent.
We can get him real leather.
Claude is not going to have a single person in his retinue arriving to a function in pleather. Disgusting.
How fucking dare you?
But he can have his tits out, sure.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get titties out. Titties out for the king. I think that's fair.
Titties out in honor of the king.
Titties out in honor of the king. Vin is gonna be like, listen, I feel like it was from there. It was pretty easy going. It was pretty, like, it was very level. I don't remember any like changes in elevation or anything. I think we'll be fine. There's probably some guards.
There's probably some guards. Probably.
There's probably some guards. But like 1 or 2.
I think this is a dice roll.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another D6, Kate.
6.
Ooh, okay. You break away from the party. You see as you slip out through one of the side doors that Ostia has spotted you and is actively trying not to draw attention to you. In fact, as you've made your way through the crowd, you've noticed that almost every guard and influential noble in the room has been conveniently called away to speak with her as you get closer to them.
All at once? She's ambitious. I like it.
No, like one after the other.
Oh, okay.
Because a ballroom this tightly packed, you're like
Next time.
getting across it's like a frickin' 20-minute endeavor. But you find yourself in one of the side halls, and it is mostly empty. There are a few household servants milling about, tidying up. Obviously, a palace of such grandeur requires constant upkeep. And they do exactly what household servants do, and they do not pay attention to you, because paying attention to people who are important is a good way to get bad. It's a bad idea. So you have free reign, essentially, to set the scene for the moment.
So we will leave. I feel like we're gonna leave Malky and Claude in the ballroom as our main like distraction. And to run interference like next to those doors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna do an entire choreographed dance number that captures every eye in the room.
Tale as old as time.
Yes.
I can't believe Claude and Malky have just been married this whole time and no one fucking noticed.
No one knew.
I can't believe they didn't even notice.
It's a a very old custom. It's a very old custom. It's
The
fine.
navigator, like, you guys didn't know that?
You guys didn't know that?
Alright.
You didn't notice? Oh shit. So yeah, I guess it would be Bertie, the navigator, and Vin, who are just gonna try and. I'm actually gonna pull out a piece of like a big piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna bring the navigator up next to me, and we're gonna start walking in a very hard way. Going, honestly, I ordered it. It was ordered. Head of that. This is absolutely unacceptable. Where did they say that they stored it?
I'm sorry, ma'am. It should be right, and then she, like, points down the hall in the direction we're going. It'll be here. I'm sure it'll be.
It has to be it. Do you understand? The comfort blums are an incredibly prestigious fact. If we
Yes,
mess
I
up on
understand.
that, I
I'm
think
sorry.
he might actually string us up on the outside of the ship. I think it's absolutely.
That would be very fitting for him.
Bertie's just walking behind, just like 3 paces behind, just playing security as always.
Just every time
Silently enjoying how much his coat billows behind him.
he just laughs occasionally. It's every time one of the servants walk past and they walk past the two who are just like meh, and they're like, oh my god, keep your eyes down, and they lift their eyes just enough for it to like catch Bertie's eye for him to be like, yeah, I know, fucking.
Oh yeah, no, totally throwing like stares at like the servants and things that we pass. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know they're in your way. This is stupid. I'm sorry.
This is stupid.
Please excuse the rich people. They don't know what they do. Kind of looks, just throwing it.
Excellent. One more D6, Kate.
I don't feel good. That's that's legit fucking 6. I'm never rolling a digital dice again.
The camera cuts between Bertie apologizing to the various workers and you all bickering, and as you walk past one of the palace elevators, it opens behind you and 2 guards step out, turn the opposite direction of you, don't even notice you, and begin their patrol. And just as the door closes, Bertie steps up, stops the door, and it's like, we have a way up.
Well, thankfully someone's paying attention and we just like fucking hustle.
With a quick data stick inserted into the elevator door, a program runs that stops the elevator from being stopped, and you ascend to the highest tower of the palace, and you find yourself outside a set of double doors that to you, Captain, look vaguely familiar, except the last time you saw them, you were being pressed against them by a space marine.
I'm gonna look at them and I'm like, I think we're here. And then I'm gonna turn my hand like a weird, like backwards direction at like waist height. I just feel the panel of the door and I'm like, no, this is definitely it.
This is definitely it.
This is it.
As you run your hand across the panel, you find the spot where you got a little bit too excited and accidentally bent part of the wood.
Fucking good for me. Fucking hell.
Listen, wood in the Imperium is all old, like new growth. It's very soft, but still.
I support it. I'm down.
And the door is conveniently unlocked.
Well, that's not
I'm
very
gonna-
secure.
Yeah, can we look up and down the corridor before ducking inside, please?
Yeah, no, this is a one-way corridor. The entire top floor of this like tower is her bedroom. It's like a 10-meter long hallway. It's like you step out of the elevator, 10 meters of hallway, her door, and then the entire rest of it is just one massive set of bedrooms.
Oh, fucking bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll duck inside. And I'm gonna pull, like, we'll open the appropriate carry case, set up the fucking horrendous cup, and then underneath, gonna write a note that just says, and then she's gonna start and be like, shit, what did we end up deciding? I thought we were like so reign for the sovereign. Like, what did we fuck? I don't remember this fucking no. Fuck.
As you are attempting to recall what you were going to write on the note, the navigator and Birdie, just Birdie, who has stood by the door, hears the elevator outside the hallway ding. And you hear the unmistakable metallic gate of one Ostia Haldis approaching her own bedroom.
Birdie's gonna go over to the navigator and go, I think we should. Ostia's coming, and we're gonna leave.
No, we're like,
Yep.
no, we're all leaving, friend. So I'm just gonna go.
Navigator, would you like to tides of space and time your way out of this situation?
Oh yeah. I mean, is everyone else gonna get caught if I do that?
You could take Birdie with you.
Fuck it.
I motion to the captain and I'm like, I make the universal hand motion for get the fuck out. And then I grab Birdie and teleport, basically, out into the, I guess into the elevator that she left.
Into the elevator that she...
She's like marching that way, and then you just see like blip, and then we're in the elevator.
Behind her as the elevator doors shut.
Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna...
doors are closing behind her, and then we're inside.
Poof. Okay, so I'm gonna, as she enters, right? So the camera just follows her. You see them in the elevator as it closes. It opens, and there's the cup and a note. And the note, she pans out, a note just says, fit for a king. And the wind, like, everything looks exactly as it should be. And the camera just pans in to show that the window is just slightly open, goes out and spins around, and Vin is like on like the stone ledge that they have like after a balcony, and it's just crab walking her way along to the next window, just like.
I cannot stress this enough. As we end this scene, all of the windows lead back into her room.
You're just going around the outside of the tower, like, shit, this is the same. What the fuck?
After Crab, actually, the end of the scene ends with after you hiding out on the edge of this tower, freaking like 90 or 100 meters up, the landing craft, piloted by 23D with the rest of your crew, successfully exfiltrated, swings by just close enough to get into Vox range, and you hear, "You're gonna have to jump, I can't get close enough to the ship." Or I can't get that close to the building.
Let me die. And she's just gonna fucking put one foot against the wall behind her and just... Oh, in fact, no. You know what? She's been using that brand new bionic hand to, like, hold into that stone real good. So, like, kick off with one leg, shove off with the bionic arm, and just go for it. I'm aiming for a Captain America grabbing, like, the bottom rung of the helicopter.
Between your bionic enhancement and Dominaya's unfucking natural skill at piloting, You make a clean getaway.
Please, back to the monarch's expression with this cup, please.
With this cup, please. All right. That makes it Birdie's turn. Birdie, do you have a scene for us?
Oh boy. I have not fully decided yet. I've been bouncing between a couple.
Okay.
And I am uncertain.
Well, the great thing is that you can do as many as you want. The way, at least the way that Em and I did this when we did it with our Sunday group, is we just kept going until everybody was out of scenes they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So we could play. This could be.
It also
just,
doesn't have to be chronological. You could
Oh,
jump
yeah.
around.
Anywhere in the timeline. We could play this game just tonight. We could play this game for the next month. Doesn't matter.
Okay. What page is that? Hold on.
The endings are on page 5, and
No,
all
look
of
for
them are
specific
hyperlinked.
ending.
All of them are hyperlinked. If you
Oh.
click their name, they'll take you.
Well, I scrolled.
If you click their... Which one are we doing?
We are doing The Confession.
Ooh.
A truth held close or a lie spoken with conviction.
You should read the write-up once you get there.
The leading player is confessing.
No, not you.
Whatever.
Yes, do you request who you want in scene?
I think this scene is like third shift on the bridge or whatever.
Nice.
Right? So it's basically just Birdie, couple handful of crew, and nobody else. Everybody else is dead asleep.
Oh, actually, just hold on. Just for like knowledge's sake, there are actually 12 shifts aboard Imperial vessels. The shifts
Fair
are
enough.
separated into 4-hour segments, not 8.
Oh, okay. Whatever shift Birdie's in charge of, it is very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of has one foot up on, like sitting in the center chair with one foot up with a cup of coffee, kind of quiet. It kind of would cut in the middle of like a very, very quiet moment. Who do I... How do I want to play this? Hold on, I'm thinking. I think, if it's all right, I think Claude comes in, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. So you would come in, and Birdie is looking extra contemplative, for lack of a better term. And just kind of staring off.
Claude will like follow Bertie's line of sight and squint for a moment, and when he's pretty sure that Bertie isn't actually looking at anything, Claude is going to silently walk past him and come back a few minutes later with whatever the sci-fi spaceship version of getting someone a coffee from the coffee machine in an office, whatever that version of doing that is, and just gently puts beverage in front of Bertie, putting it down just loud enough that the noise will probably wake him up.
Oh, thank you, Claude. I guess mine got
Yes.
cold. Been a weird couple of weeks, huh? Fought a demon. We gave a gift to a king. We didn't steal anything, but it felt that was weird, right? Yeah.
We, I think, all engaged in an act of communal flirting on the captain's behalf. I'm
Huh.
sure it worked out for them.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. D23 was still putting their arm back in their socket for about an hour after they tried to just one-handed grab onto the side of the landing craft. I can't believe she tried that. That was stupid.
I mean, in D23's defense, it did explain to the captain that her arm had been ripped off, not her shoulder, and that she wasn't braced for those sorts of feats of athleticism. But you know our captain.
I do.
But all that being said,
Opens
you
up a
seem to
bag
have
of
something on
chips.
your mind.
Chips, potato chips, many of them.
Oh no, I was just you know, well, oh man, how do I? Just thinking a lot, Claude. You know, watching the captain do all the things with you know, all these great things, and I always thought I wanted to, kind of wanted to be her, you know, be my own rogue
Mhm.
trader, have my own command. That was kind of the goal for a long time. Uh, Kind of pissed me off when she put Rattan in charge of the other ship.
Oh, I can see that.
Just it's just been in the beginning. It was just the two of us, you know, and I get it, but I didn't go. But it doesn't bother me as much anymore.
Hmm.
Just all
Do you think
feels
you would be happier if you had left?
no, no, I don't. And that's I think what I thought for a long time. That I'd be happier, not on my own, but kind of doing my own thing. Because the captain likes to take charge a lot, likes to really likes to keep that responsibility on herself and not you know. I know she trusts me and the rest of the crew. Comes to military decisiveness and decisions. We disagree on things, and that's fine. That happens, but it'd be nice to do things my own way.
Of course.
No,
But not anymore.
no, it's just been strange recently.
You're
Gonna,
content?
I don't know about that. I don't know what that even really means. I guess,
Satisfied? At peace? At rest?
well, let's be honest, Claude. The Death Squad. They're my friends, and I guess. But, I don't know. I haven't. What's the point in going out there when it doesn't feel like there's a lot else going on for me? And my family's here. It kind of feels like, I guess, and well, I'm one ugly son of a bitch, and it's no secret. Guess I'm just lonely.
I don't think we have to stop being your family if you leave, you know.
Yeah, I don't
The
trust
captain
myself.
lucked into finding the king of an entire planet who just happened to think she was, I don't know, the right kind of fun. You could wait around for something like that to fall into your lap. Or you could go looking for it.
Oh,
It's not like anyone's going to clear out your room.
No. My sights are much lower than. Well, not much lower. That's insulting. Uh, Sights are a little more adjusted than a king. It is what it is, though.
Hmm.
Fucking horrifying. We don't trust the thing in the vent, though. We don't. I don't know what that is. It's been going on for a while now. I don't trust the thing in the vent.
Oh, no. I mean, I think at this point, considering it as one single entity and not at least 100 would just be unrealistic.
Yeah, fair.
The vents aren't very big. They can't move that fast. They're just coordinated and all have the same spindly fingers with slightly too many joints.
Mm.
On that, you actually do hear something. You hear the voice in the vent make like a screeching noise, and then another voice, a different voice shows up and says, "Sorry about that. This one wasn't supposed to get off of the low decks."
Don't worry about it.
No,
I'm
you're
totally
good.
fine. It's just us here.
Yep. I don't know, Claude. I guess. Claude, how do you talk to a woman?
Claude Miro Kupferblum. Gay.
Claude, I don't. If I can help it.
Well, from what I've observed of the captain's antics, you compliment her battle tactics, fawn over how good she looks in power armor, and try very hard to not make eye contact with her ample bosom for long enough that she finds you endearing. I wouldn't necessarily hold up the captain as a gold standard of romantic intention, no matter how successful her exploits may be. In all honesty, I think talking to a woman. Claude puts his hands together in front of his face and then puts them on the table and says, "Don't talk to a woman. Talk to a person you like who happens to be a woman as if she is a person. Don't try and think about how that is a woman and how you're meant to treat a woman. Treat her as a friend. Be kind, be honest. and put a sock on your doorknob or something. I don't know.
I don't know about all that, but maybe.
I mean, you say you're one ugly son of a bitch or whatever, but this is a universe full of chaos. I mean,
That is true. I do look better than a plague marine. That I've
you
established
have
that much.
you have you have a fairly standard number of faces and eyes.
I do.
You have all of your own teeth in your mouth.
The
Yeah,
navigator's
yeah.
voice from the vents, like, all right, rude.
Rude.
That felt hurtful.
You have fingernails and toenails. I'm sure those are a big plus in certain parts of the spaceport. My point being, there's not much reason to be hard on yourself in a universe where, in theory, someone had to fuck a tyrannid to make an entire species.
I mean, you know what, Claude? Thank you. That I appreciate that perspective.
Just because Claude would know this from all of the Gene Stealer checks, Gene Stealers actually just kind of put their tongue down your throat and leave it in there alien
Oh no,
style.
no. Claude doesn't mean the gene stealer. Claude means the alien creature that makes gene stealers.
Oh.
Like, surely tyrannids have to reproduce somehow. There wasn't just like a set number of them that came into being at the start of the universe.
There's been monster fucking somewhere, is I think the point.
Someone's
No,
tried to
you
fuck
know,
a tyrannid.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I am right.
Well, Birdie, Birdie gets up and goes, "That's my shift, I guess." Thanks, Claude. You know, I always kind of saw you as one of my best friends, so I appreciate that.
I think it's because I'm the only person on the ship that hasn't tried to wring your neck.
That's fair. That's very fair. And
Claude
then,
gestures to the wall that Bertie's been staring at for the last probably 2 hours and go, I'll make sure it doesn't go anywhere while you sleep.
Yeah. Have a good night. And then Birdie
You too.
is going to walk out. Actually, no. First, Birdie's going to give Claude a hug.
Aww. Claude's gonna awkwardly pat Bertie in the small of the back, because as far as I remember, Bertie is considerably taller than Claude.
Considerably taller.
Yeah.
And then Birdie's going to go out. And then Birdie's going to chirp someone on the communicator and ask them what they're doing. And then it's going to fade to black.
Beep beep. WYD, babe. Beep beep.
No.
Hey, you up?
Hey, well,
No.
me
Birdie
do-
was going, to be clear, Birdie's going to ask this person for coffee, and how that goes, we can leave it to the ether. I don't know. I know exactly who it is, too, but...
Can I know who it is?
Sure, Harley. I will tell you.
Excellent.
Mhm.
While you
And
do
if you
that,
think it appropriate, but...
while you do that, it is in fact Emeren's turn to pick a game.
Okay.
This is exciting, actually, because there aren't a whole lot of named NPCs in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell everyone now, it's not an NPC.
Oh.
Oh.
Ba 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 ba.
Gasp.
Yeah.
So awkward if it was Claude.
Oh.
Hey, Claude, baby, you up?
That entire time, Bertie sat there like, you know, if someone liked you, and someone
Asking
thought I was
for a
just so
friend.
ugly.
Okay.
Well, definitely not who I thought it was going to be, but
I'm going to go out of chronological order. I'm going to do passing the torch.
we get a
Ooh.
new navigator. Nice.
Um,
M did mention this, so I'm going to mention again. When you pick a game, please read out how the game works for
Yes.
people.
Okay.
Not Frodo.
Your character gives away an object, a weapon, a secret. This is on page 57.
Yeah.
Your character gives away an object, a weapon, a secret, a story, an impulse, or a mission to another person in the world. Pick a non-player character or another player character. This should be someone your character knows and that has played some role in their life. Well, hand wiggle.
Eh.
And
As always, this character may refuse this role. In this case, you may pick another character or choose a different ending. If you're playing a game, blah blah blah. That's fine. We don't need all that other stuff. Give this thing away. Explain how this comes to pass. Is this a secret shared between friends, a cruel word, a kind one? Do you sit together, work together, train together? Is it a legacy or a duty or a need that has them start up where you have stopped? Do they find some hidden object buried by you? Do you beg them to pick up your sword? You may elect to play this scene out or simply describe its outcome. Be sure to answer how your character feels bereft of their torch, how their inheritor feels now lifting it. I think this is many years down the line. I'm going to need the captain for this, I think.
Yep.
This is... Some time has passed. I'm not sure who else is left on the crew, but Vin is still there. And
Yep.
at a certain point, the navigator has decided it was time to get a new navigator because she cannot keep doing the work. And so you have a fresh, young, what is it, Nobilite? No,
Navis Nobilite.
Navis Nobilite.
Or Navis Renegade.
I think she's just the usual.
Okay.
And she's very young. She's like probably in her early 20s. Does not have much of the mutations that like you gain over time by being a navigator. And you are bringing her down into a lower chamber in the ship. Just sort of explaining what her duties are going to be. And I don't think we need to... I mean, if you want to act it out, you can, but...
Just so you know, as we're going down, it as much as it cuts in, it's been saying, so, demon invasion, very bad. Genuinely,
yes, ma'am.
so bad.
We try to avoid that if we can.
Correct. Because let me tell you, I don't know what they tell you when you're being trained, but it is, you see this wall right here? You know when it bleeds? Because I do. It's just that.
It's just a lot of like, man, it was really fucked up when we ran into like this thing and also this thing, so please try not to, don't land us on any tomb worlds.
Yeah, listen, we've done this thing, it was bad. Don't do that. It was, this thing, also bad. Don't do that either.
And she's just like, yep. And then finally you get to a door. And this is where you are like, okay, don't try not to stare, basically. She doesn't like it when you stare.
Okay, get in front of this new recruit, like take her by the shoulders, how about do the like 2 fingers into my eyes, 2 fingers in your lip. Look me dead in the fucking eyeballs. Look me dead in the fucking eyeballs.
She's like,
right?
she's like nervous because she's like, how many she's got
I only have
She's got the one eye and the it's covered up because you have to have it covered up.
In which case,
No, go ahead.
in which case, it's when Vin points at her, it's one finger, and as she points to just between her two eyes, she's not. Listen, she's not trying to be particularly helpful. It's fine.
Mhm.
Like, look my fucking eyeballs,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
You just fucking stare. Get a good fucking right. That is the last time you will fucking stare at somebody's face until we are done with this. If I see you staring, it will not go well.
Okay.
Right? You got that out of your system?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Just for reference, she actually has no outward mutations.
Oh,
Yeah.
not
I
even
rolled
the eye?
I mean, she has the eye, but I rolled on the table,
Oh.
and her starting mutation is unnatural vitality.
Oh.
Motherfucker,
Well, there you
this is
go.
why she looks about fucking 19.
Yeah.
Like, this is why we've been doing the, like, no, for real, don't drive us into a planet, don't drop us into hell. Like, you're clearly a fucking child. What are
Yes.
you doing?
This is an infant.
This is an infant.
Okay. And then she gives like all the nods that she has to. She's like, yep, yep, yep. Okay, not gonna look. I'm just gonna
Now,
stare at the floor.
do the secret knock, and everything will be fine. And Vin's just gonna start stepping.
Such an asshole.
She like stands in front of the door and is like, is there a secret knock? And she does, shave and a haircut. And then from the inside of the chamber, there's the two bits. And then the door like creaks open a little bit, and she looks back at you. And then goes
Good enough.
inside. And then the door closes behind her. And I think there's like, it's like a circular chamber. It's like pretty big and empty. And there's a light coming from the ceiling. And she's like standing in the. She walks out into the center of the room. She's like, hello? Hello? And then we see it in the shadow first, where like there's like spindly limbs moving, and then from the ceiling, like this like gigantic shape, like a spider, comes down from the roof, and it takes up most of this space. It's like gigantic. And she is like scared at first, and then she like remembers that she's not supposed to stare, and she like looks down as this thing like unfolds in various directions, and like a head swivels down, and it's got like, I think it's a full-on like spider motif. I think it's got lots of eyes with lots of pupils in each one, and all of them have that like tinge of the warp inside of them. And then it kind of like gives her a considered look. And then an arm, one of many arms, comes down from somewhere inside of this mass of form, and produces the pristine staff that the navigator had. And it like unfolds in front of this tiny girl. And there's like one shot of just like this thing presenting this object to her. And it lingers on that. And then it cuts to black. And that's the passing of the torch.
Damn.
Thank you.
Very good, very good.
Very good.
All right.
All
And
right,
now I don't have to do any other scenes. That was the one scene I had in mind.
All right. Tough bit to follow. Al, you're up. I think you scared him.
I'm sorry.
You didn't. I'm going to want everyone to play the song.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Thank you very
Mhm.
much.
When would you like us to start it?
Oh yeah, everyone get it loaded up, and then we'll just hit play. The exact lyrics don't really matter. It's just the general background noise.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I should announce what I'm doing. I am doing 20 years later.
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
kind of freeballing. It's fine. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Read the
Give-
page
Sick.
first.
Boo. Fine.
Sorry.
20 years later, a glimpse at life after. Pick a number of years to jump ahead. If unsure, you may elect to roll on the following table. I won't. This is several thousand years in the future. Don't worry too hard about it. You may elect to roleplay inside this scene or simply describe it. I'm going to describe it. Director, as always, may interject with camera directions where appropriate. Leading player answers one of the following prompts. The title card fades away to reveal your character doing an activity. What are they doing? Who are they with? How have they changed? Do they look happy? The title card fades away to reveal the home in which your character once lived. Who lives there now? Is it empty? How has it changed? Has it been redecorated? Has it fallen to ruin? Is there a garden? Are there children living there? The title card fades away to reveal a grave or memorial. What is the name on the grave? The epitaph? What gifts or flowers or stones have been left in remembrance upon it? Is someone there now paying their respects? Who is that remembers the person memorialized there? Which is really funny because I read none of those prompts and I have managed to kind of do all three. Everyone hit play.
Very quietly restarts the song.
Look up. Or down. Look anywhere, really. Down is truly relative out here. Look far enough, though, and eventually you may find a ship. It's a strange old thing. It had a name once, a few thousand years ago. It thought it was funny. Nowadays, even ship doesn't truly feel accurate. Metal stretches over its hull, forming a carapace. Its body sways and swishes in the ethereal currents that flow between thousands of worlds. Inside it scuttles a whole ecosystem of swarming life. Bacterium of a kind, consuming and polluting, and repairing and renewing. It's entropy in action. Once, this being thought with strings of numbers. Fact and thought and opinion and value all locked into a billion binary choices of yes or no that flashed past in a trillionth of a second. Now, well, the detritus of life accumulates flesh and bone and blood. It cannot remember its name, but it can almost taste the words on the tongue it doesn't have. There are rooms inside the creature where those memories yet linger. A handful of cabins, a storage locker or two, a bridge, but they ache too much for it to explore. None of the detritus is allowed to reach those places. They are museums of nothing but dust. Stray transmissions crackle through an obsolete communication system. Barked orders, pleas for action, laughter. Like I said, it hurts too much. So look away. Look away from that great and mighty thing drifting through the stars, swarming, living, breathing. It does not remember. It is a memory. It is the purple robe with a singed hem removed for one last time and draped over a chair as if its owner truly thought they were coming back. It is the click of a cooling fan's motor trying to turn, its blades tangled with stray clumps of thick fur. It is a monocle with a cracked lens, lost between the grapes. It is the orange feather in a captain's hat. Look away, please. Let its ghosts rest. Look instead to the skyport, where a squadron's worth of initials are scarred into the wall of an unused loading dock. They hung up their weapons that day, yet even now, with the sons of their sons of their sons having long since turned to dust, no one has dared send the letters away. Listen for the shouts and thumping coming from an orcish drinking hall, familiar names carried safe in a song, the story of a king who tore off her own arm and used it to beat a god of chaos to death. None of the boys were there that day, of course, but they remembered the story and, well, you know how stories are. Smell the rich and smoky incense staining the vaulted halls of a temple within which magic, or the closest thing to it, thrums through every stone. Tunnels and catacombs extend for miles beneath it, spreading down and out into the very depths of the planet itself. The whispers of a cry that once shattered reality huddle together in a few forgotten corners, the last remnants of a voice that has long since outlived its master. All right. Look up, just one last time, to the night sky full of swirling nebulas and sparkling stars. One of them winks out, just for a moment, as the ship that was once known as the Lesser Evil passes between it and you. Up there, the creature that had once been known as Lev drifts and dreams of lost centuries, engines humming an eternal dirge through its empty cabins. Close your eyes and say goodbye. Let them go. And scene.
Hey, fuck you!
Damn.
I timed that so well!
You
Hey,
timed that
oh,
perfectly.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck!
That fucking... God damn it! Ah!
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He's very good.
You made me cry, you
Hey.
fucking punk-ass bitch!
Yeah, we did it. Successful
I
world
started
ending.
writing that. I started writing that
I know!
after you gave me the PDF. That took like 30 minutes.
You're a
Okay.
creative writer or something.
It's like he did
Yeah,
this.
I am.
Good shit.
It's like I
Fucking hell.
graduated first with a distinction in this. Oh my god, it's crazy.
No.
No way.
Weird
No
flex,
way.
Do you-
okay.
Do you have the write-up that we could read?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that shit, okay? That's going in my folder
Harley's
next to
collecting
M.
them.
Let me I'll just cut out the bit where I answered the questions.
Hold for 1 second. I also have to save this fucking song in in my made me fucking cry folder.
I'm putting it in the document as well.
Jesus fucking Christ, Al. Really just fucking hit me with that.
I said the ship was gonna get weird and gooey.
Yeah, I thought.
I like it.
Ugh. Ugh.
Me and Al shaking hands.
All right.
Made
I don't
Harley
know.
cry.
Good job, guys.
This is the other thing. Harley said, "Oh, M did the anime music video thing and gave a speech, like a monologue that made everyone cry," and I was like, "Oh, so it's that kind of game, is it?" Excellent.
That's
Yeah.
how we. Is that how we win? You say.
This is how you.
And then I asked a very innocuous question of the greater evil before we got it. I said the lesser evil at the end. I fucked up. Anyway, the greater evil before we got it had been around for like centuries, right? It would totally outlive us. And Harley was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Good."
Good. The fucking.
Birdie
warrior-
somewhere in the deck's going, Lev, I'd really like to go out of the room, please.
Not really.
I'm starved to death. Like, I don't even know how many times already. Can I? Lev?
Who says Bertie's trapped in his room? Bertie could have become part of the meat.
Ew.
Yeah, that was orc fungus combined with tyrannid biomass inside a ship that is virtually invincible for thousands of years.
The navigator and
Like,
the
at
meat have
what
an
point
arrangement.
at what point does it stop being a machine? It has bacterium. It has vital organs that it would shut down if you removed.
Oh
What
my
else does it
God.
need?
Alright, okay, fuck. Fuck M's thing and Al having the hard follow-up. Gaz, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's your
That's
turn.
okay.
It's
I
your-
had
Do it.
I had roughly the same idea.
Do it!
Yeah.
I am also doing 20 years later.
Hell yeah.
However, I have taken a little bit of liberty in the sense
Oh.
that I've picked a time jump, but I've also picked a couple of shorter time jumps to get there, if you know what I mean.
Excellent. No,
Nice.
do it. Live
I'm gonna pick-
live your life.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the title card fades away to reveal your character doing an activity.
Excellent.
The totally non-diegetic theme to this is here.
Oh god, this is gonna fucking hit.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Let us know when to hit play.
I'll count in 3, 2, 1. Moments have passed. Malkador Brynjar sits, centre scene, staring at his enormous, clawed hands on a medbay table aboard the Greater Evil. Servitors and staff run past and around him in slow motion, attending to the more seriously wounded. An aide begins taking blood samples from his massive, fur-covered arm. Malkador looks up from his hands and stares into the distance just below camera, expressionless. A month has passed. Malkador Brynjar sits, centre scene, in his makeshift room in engineering aboard the Greater Evil, as Lev, the ship's sapient AI, reads to him a message received from Fenris, his home planet and recruiting world for the Space Wolves chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, requesting he return and fulfill the oath he once stood set to swear, as soon as his obligations to House Elrahith have been fulfilled. Malkador stares into the distance, just below camera, expressionless. 6 months have passed. Malkador Brynjar stands, centre scene, in the main hangar of the Greater Evil. Sorry, something got in my throat there. In the main hangar of the Greater Evil. I'm leaning forward into the mic, that's my problem, I need to sit up. An Astartes shuttle dwarfs the figures lined up ceremonially in front of its loading door, as a retinue of space wolves march silently out to greet their old friend, now peer and brother. As Space Marines, Death Cult, and crewmates embrace him one by one, Malkador Brynjar, chosen of Russ, stares into the distance just below camera, expressionless. A year has passed. Malkador Brynjar, chosen of Russ, stands as Astartes tech priests and acolytes assemble and attach a chipped but shining set of Mark IV power armor piece by piece to his hulking frame, the fur now shaved down to accommodate ceramite and plasteel. Purity seals are placed and blessed by the Wolfen Detachment's rune priest, the words being spoken but not heard. Malkador stares into the distance just below camera, expressionless. A century has passed. Malkador Brynjar, chosen of Russ and Wolfen captain, pulls the arms from a chaos cultist, driving what remains into the already red earth, crushing it to a paste under a massive taloned foot. A battle cry now more beastly howl than words leaves a mouth now elongated, filled with huge, razor-sharp teeth. As a campaign of wholesale slaughter unfolds around him, surrounded by Astartes and Wolfen alike, the air filled with the righteous fury of the God Emperor. Malkador stares into the distance just below camera, his eyes wide, filled with hatred and pain. Cut to white. 5,000 years have passed. There is nothing but ice, snow, and stone. The ice itself rumbles with the ponderous stirrings of unspeakable leviathans far below the surface. A gigantic vulpine beast stalks the barren wastes, its fur matted and greying, its snout bloody and pulsing with hot, steaming breath. Its name, or what once was its name, has long been forgotten by all but the oldest of what few dreadnoughts remain, and a list carved into the gleaming golden walls of a dead ship, floating aimlessly in the void above the dead world. The beast carries on its back a long, heavy chainsword, dragging a slow channel into the snow behind it. It reaches a cave, a respite from the howling wind that draws the breath from mortal men. It comes to a seat in front of the far wall of the cave, looking to the words scrawled upon it, almost entirely obscured by frost and time. As it slowly slumps to the ground, the words from the wall run over and over in its slowly collapsing mind. Its laboured, hot breaths become slower and less frequent. The words, "I am Malkador Brynjar, chosen of Rus. The Emperor protects. There are no wolves on Fenris. Not anymore." And scene.
Hey, double fuck you!
Damn, what
Oh,
the
that was
fuck?
sick. That was really good.
It's so good.
Ah!
Fucking get it.
So
God.
I actually have a genuine question, but
Yeah.
that was fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Wrote that
So
on the
I
bus,
am
my dudes.
I am outside of a lot of 40k lore, right?
Yeah.
What happens to Birdie? Like,
As a perpetual,
yeah.
you exist perpetually.
Let's see, what happens to the other perpetuals? A lot of them go insane.
As is Warhammer.
Yeah.
Um,
The ones that are Primarchs usually just continue doing what they're doing. The Emperor was a perpetual.
Oh, I'd heard lore from someone, and they essentially said, like, one of the theories is that the Emperor is a kind of being that's technically meant to reincarnate, and
Oh yeah, I think I
therefore
mentioned that last week.
keeping the Emperor alive on the throne is like the worst thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense.
All they need to do is let him die, and then everything will be fine. But they can't let him die.
Hmm.
Maybe you shouldn't have built a giant fucking religion around yourself, you giant idiot.
He said not to do that. He said
yeah,
to
no,
not.
he literally told them not to, and then after he died, the Adeptus Terra, the people who run the Empire, needed a figurehead to keep the Empire in control and fabricated the religion.
Yeah.
I love that, like, the Emperor on his deathbed, like, look at me. Look into my eyes. What are we not going to do? Make a religion out of me, yes.
Well, okay.
Good. Very good, my children.
He didn't
you
get a
have
chance to
learned
have
well.
a deathbed.
Well, you see, the thing is that the only person he told that to, the person who he entrusted the Empire to stop that from happening, was Rabute Gilliman, who also was then immediately mortally wounded and has been in a coma for 11,000 years.
I mean, that'll do it.
He literally Rabute literally just woke up
And
in a
it's
book
like, what
released
the
like
fuck did you do?
in a book released like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
he was
so-
literally
He
just
was
like, what did you
fucking
do to my
pissed.
father's empire?
Anyway, the point is,
Fuck you, Gaz.
Like, eventually people are going to take notice of Birdie, right?
yeah,
I just
They
don't
might do.
like from my perspective. Like, I don't know how all of that works for Birdie in the actual future, right? But that's just because I'm not as familiar with the lore and stuff.
Well, to be fair,
Mhm.
as the arch militant of, I haven't mentioned this actually, and this is partially my fault because I was a little too excited to hand out rewards. Y'all are actually the single most powerful rogue trader house in the galaxy currently.
No biggie.
Hot.
yeah.
And Birdie is the arch militant of that rogue trader house.
So you could
Which-
be doing whatever you
Whatever
want,
the
really.
fuck you want.
Which means as a perpetual tied to this house, you literally can do anything. If Birdie wanted to, he could fuck around for a fucking like a millennia, leading entire crusades. Or he could purchase himself a paradise planet and make a nice herb farm and just hide there for like 4 centuries.
Thanos,
Take a
that
really
shit.
nice nap. Yeah.
Take a really nice nap.
You could be put into the same coma that Gulliman got put into to wake up several thousand years later.
Yeah, if at any point Birdie does finally get tired enough that he doesn't want to keep existing, all he'd have to do is rock up to a Mechanicus Explorator fleet and be like, hey, figure out why I can't die, and then they'd keep him in suspended animation for the next 10,000 years while they figured out why he can't die. Alright. I guess it's my turn. Gotta follow up you motherfuckers.
Depending on whether you want to rap with yours, I have one more.
Okay. I am going to do Ride into the Sunset. And unfortunately, I do not have a song for this at the moment. And the NPC we will be focusing on for Ride into the Sunset is 23D. Ride into the Sunset. Some goodbye. This is page 58, 59. Ride into the Sunset. Some goodbyes are just a dwindle. You are leaving because pick or roll one. I will be. Hold on, I want to hear your guess before I do this.
I don't know. It's a really good idea. I don't know if I want to tell you. Because then you're going to be like, oh no, I should have done that. And then you'll do that.
Yeah, do your thing.
Hold on.
Do
No,
your thing.
I swear to you, on my honor, I will not change what I'm doing. Okay, so actually, I need you all to know that M did just guess it on the
Yes! I know him too well!
M did guess it. Okay. I need so you are leaving here because and I am picking there is something else out there for you. What are you leaving undone to pursue? Or to pursue it? Uh I think this is some 100 or so years down the line. And I want to, just for reference here for everybody, this is about 100 or so years real time. From the perspective of the actual crew, due to warp travel and whatnot, it's probably been about 30 or so. So Vin is still captain at this point.
Right.
She's getting on in years. If she wants to continue captaining, she'll have to take a rejuvenation surgery, but she is still captain. What are you leaving undone to pursue it? I think 23D is just leaving the ship. The greater evil is a massive vessel, and getting it working is not the same as knowing it, which is ultimately, or at least it was ultimately, his goal. This ship is a marvel of technology from beyond the golden age, from beyond even the dark age of technology. Its kind will never be seen again. But even the promise of that wealth of knowledge is not enough to tie him to this ship and to the Elrahith family, despite his own pre-programmed vows. He doesn't pack anything. His quarters remain untouched. His station in the bridge remains exactly as he likes it. His recaf is kept at exactly the same temperature it always is. And he doesn't he leaves behind everything. And the only person he says goodbye to is the captain herself. And it is an apology as much as it is a farewell. An apology for years of service that she is no longer going to have, for years of repairs, of subpar repairs to her prosthetics that she will now have to endure, and an apology for the future generations of her family that will now have to have someone of lesser skill look after their equipment. They leave quietly, almost contemplatively. They take a single landing vessel down to a they take a single landing vessel to Port Wander. The vessel comes back again empty, except for sat against one of the passenger seats is 23D's personal Mechanicus axe, the icon of his station. Like Birdie's, but extravagantly decorated. Built sturdier, tougher, out of ancient materials. Each power cell, one that he pieced together himself over his 11,000 years of service to the Empire. And it isn't until several centuries later that you, Vin, after after decades of time spent traveling through the warp, I'm not sure if Vin at this point did take any rejuvenation surgeries or if she is just very old. But Vin, you get word that there is a new threat on the horizon. And after having your seneschal, whether that be Clodomiro still or a new, younger spy master, fresh from another hive world, you have your seneschal do some digging, and what returns to you is news that strikes you to your core. There is a new chaos god. And standing at his right side, as you watch a vid of this behemoth, this mountain of a cyborg, lay waste to a world, standing at his side, wearing his colors, is your tech priest.
Fuck.
That dick.
Dang.
Claude returns with the information, but not like, oh, Captain, I just found something out. Claude returns with the information like, fucking shit, fuck, balls, bastard.
Damn it.
Doesn't even say goodbye and then comes with back, turn evil, never fucking friend.
Gotta go where the tech is coolest. That guy's pretty
Fucking
fucking
apparently.
And in case anybody didn't see it earlier when I posted it, let me just scroll back up real fast. Copy. Paste. This is the new guy.
Yeah, it is.
I can see why.
Oh.
I can see why.
I can.
Look at those
D23
arms
voice,
and shit.
you've
Yeah.
got so many arms.
Arms are super hot.
Well, hold
Can
on.
I have
Explain what this
some
guy's deal
arms?
is.
Oh, okay. So this is Vashtor the Archithane. He is the being currently closest to becoming a Chaos God. He resides in the center of the warp in a place called the Forge of Souls. And he is the person, he is the being responsible for creating all of the demonic forces, weird robot cyber demon monsters. He offers no fealty to any of the major gods, and instead is constantly scheming to gain himself power and recognition. Because the only thing that's stopping him from being a god is the recognition of his fellow gods.
Ah,
Great.
I'd be pissed off too, to be fair.
Also, I just want to point out that Marine there, the one on the right, he's about to feel what it's like to be a hot dog in a microwave.
You should know what it's like to be an ant in a microwave and dodge every beam expertly.
Wouldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. Built different. Kate, you're up.
So I'm gonna pick up and break in the same sentence. The Earth swallows time, which is technically meant to be a game for all players, but in this case it is not.
Okay.
Well, fair enough.
And we are jumping backwards.
This one's so
slightly.
hard. Okay.
We are jumping backwards. And let me grab the sound for you.
I'm gonna read out what it is.
Pardon?
I'm gonna read out.
I will read out. Let me grab the.
I'll just
Leave
preempt.
this to be.
I will just preemptively add this to the list.
So, jump anywhere in that file. It does not matter. I do not have this written because I'm not a fucking freak.
Hi.
Y'all fucking freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Hamstever. The Earth Swallows Time. This is a game about deep time, non-human time. It's about watching buildings crumble and then seeing the stones they were made of do the same. Leading player, establish a place in the world to watch. It's likely a place that appeared on screen, but it does not need to be. Select from the following prompts to begin a description of the place, finishing it as desired. For instance, the leading player may choose to focus on a city in which the character once lived. They may select a prompt and continue it. And there's an example. When the lead player is done describing what has changed, if we were playing it properly, we would pass the book to the right. We will not be doing so. The director can interject as appropriate with camera directions each time we pass the book, but we're not passing the book. And we can play a song. Y'all have the noise. So, the moment that Vin was swallowed by the void, the moment that it looked like the Demon Prince had gotten everything, and there was suddenly nothing, lasted forever. And also no time. The camera sees Vin. We come in from a whiteout. Stood as a small speck in an endless white sea. It rushes in really closely, and she is confused, mostly. She sits up and looks down at the arm that is no longer there, and holds her hand out to catch blood that is no longer flowing. She says, "Fuck." She sits a while longer and she looks around the world and sees nothing. And after a short while, gets to her feet, sticks her finger in her mouth, holds it to the air that does not move, points in a direction, and begins to walk. There is no telling how long passes by. You watch her walk smaller and smaller and smaller. The camera cuts to make her smaller and smaller on the screen. Eventually, she sits down again. Eventually, she lies down and curls up as if to sleep. And that is where the problem starts, because a brain devoid of any stimulus will make its own entertainment. So when her eyes close, it's not more white or more black. It's the vision of the Demon Prince above her. The feeling and sound of her arm being ripped from its socket. It's the smell and the taste of acid. It's the sight of the Plague Knight. It's every terrible thing on that planet. It's the gnawing acknowledgement before they beam down that this was probably it, and that everyone she was taking with her was going to die. It happens faster again, over again, cutting in and out of the Demon Prince's face, his open maw, everything that used to be her cousin and now isn't. She wakes up screaming, sweating, and he is there. Aquila is there, half transformed, sat in front of her. The only two beings in the endless white. There's nothing else. She stands up. Absolutely fucking not. Turns and walks away. She walks out of shot and meets him again. Turns and does it again and again and again. And it takes a while before the half man says, "You know this is pointless, don't you?" At least that is what we presume he says. It's what the subtitles say that he says. It's difficult to tell through a half mouth. She does it again, anyway, and again, and again. And the final time she enters screen, she leans over and spits in his face. If I am going to spend the rest of my life in this hell, then, and he cuts her off and says, what life? You are dead. You are mine. And he reaches out, closes one massive hand around her head, and you see again quick glimpses, quick catches of that same scene, of that same battle, faster and faster, cutting in now on the pain of her friend, cutting in on things that did not happen, people dying, people rent asunder, everything he wanted to happen, over and over and over. And then it stops. She stands up and she walks away. She's noticeably paler now, noticeably thinner, as if the entire experience has drained her. She walks for a long time, and you don't see him again. Almost, but not quite. His shadow off the corner, the only shadow in a pure white place. After a while, a voice comes through the void. It says, why are you walking? Where are you going? You get a flash, just a quick one, of Vin herself as a child. And then she's walking beside her. Where are we going? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. Grandad says we shouldn't swear. It's not very dignified. She walks faster and the child keeps up. It goes for hours. It is impossible to tell how long. And she asks her over and over and over, where are we going? Why are we walking? Slowly, Vin forgets. She forgets why she's walking. She just knows that she is. She forgets where she's going. She just knows that she's not going back. She loses it. First the battle, and then the faces of the people in it. And then what they were fighting for. And then the ship, and the spaceport. And even grandfather's deathbed. And back, until there's nothing. Nothing but the whiteness, forever. Nothing but alone, forever. And then, after an eternity, she hears a voice that says, well, that doesn't seem very likely. And she'd be like, that's not her voice. And then a more distinguished one that follows and says, well, yes, it is rather dramatic, but the captain is like that. We all know that. And then another one that says, well, it did take us some time to get her out of the warp. It is a definite risk with warp travel. This chorus from nowhere. And then it's not from nowhere. Slowly out of the white, the bridge forms. And people. And sound. And the person who had stopped being Vin looks down at two hands. At herself sat in her command chair. He says, oh, fuck! And then the scene changes, and she opens her eyes to D23, saying, we weren't sure we were going to get you out of that, Captain. I'll let everyone else know you're awake. And she's back on the ship. End scene. You all fucking handed me, I don't know, how long was that in the warp? And the answer was, good question. Nobody fucking knows. It's fine.
But who was phone?
But who?
Who was that?
Who was? Who was?
All right. Well, it's not 7 yet. We still got some time. Birdie, you got another one in you?
Potentially. I'm getting a question answered.
Yes.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh well that. Okay.
Oh boy.
We are going to jump into the future.
Which one is that?
The 20-year. I'm trying
Oh,
to.
20 years later.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of mileage out of this one.
It works for this crew.
It does. You know, we got a lot of people who are going to live a really, like, even the people who aren't immortal are still going to live centuries because of, you know, relativistic, well, tech and also relativistic travel.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm just having a look here. It is going to be a title card phase way to reveal your character doing an activity. What are they doing? Who are they with? How have they changed? Do they look happy? So to set the scene, I have music. It's not long enough for what I have, I don't think. I don't know, but we'll see.
I mean, just put it on repeat.
Fair enough. So I'm taking a bit of a different tact, Harley, than everybody else.
Okay.
With the sadness and everything. So.
Cool. That's great, because I think if I cry again, I'll have a headache.
It's okay. There we go.
I am still going to add this to the list, though.
Mm-hmm. So, we zoom in. It's an indeterminate amount of time in the future. Vin is dead. Vin is gone. Maybe not dead. Potentially retired.
Potentially retired.
Vin is no longer rogue trading. And when I said I was getting confirmation, the question, can Vin die? I mean, that's very fair. But the confirmation I got is it was Ben has passed her papers onto Birdie, which was probably a mistake.
One that I don't have to live with, because I'm either going to retire or die or both.
Fair enough. And so we cut into the scene with a bright flare outside the front window of the major evil, as it is absolutely smack dab in the middle of a massive space battle over a world that no one had really. Weeks ago, this world was. No one really cared about it. It hadn't really been discovered, I guess. And it had been found by the Elrahith family, another agent, not Birdie specifically. Birdie is still using the name Elrahith now, or has begun using the name Elrahith now.
Sorry to interrupt. What is Birdie's last name?
Boulder Ward.
Elrahith
right.
now.
But it's it's Elrahith. Well, publicly, it's Elrahith now.
Got your ass adopted.
And another potentially more misguided rogue trader has decided to stake this claim for themselves and killed the Elrahith agents who were already here. which has brought down the greater evil itself. And as it hovers over the planet, Birdie is actually making his way to the God Machine. And is has at this point fully learned how to drive, and has pulled alongside him to pilot it with him to very large, very strange orc weird boys. As the whole thing is just painted. The whole thing is painted red. And Birdie and the rest load up into the God Machine to go down and to this planet. And when they arrive, Birdie just starts piloting this machine across this vast plain, ignoring any of the small arms fire or anything from this rogue trader who has decided to try to muscle in, not really realizing what house they had crossed. But instead, when Birdie arrives, just marches straight through their troops, straight up to them. Gets out of the God Machine with guns and everything pointed at him. No fear of death whatsoever. Birdie, instead of looking at the rogue trader, looks to their arch-militant and goes, "You got two options here, friend. You could all die, or you can get a promotion." And that's when, and then Birdie turns, gets back in the God Machine, and just starts walking away. The rogue trader kind of looking around like, what the hell was that? And then gets his brains promptly blown the fuck out. As Birdie now incorporates this lesser house into his swiftly getting larger fleet. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Chaos, we like it.
Oh no, I just figure Birdie's just gonna become a problem for everybody.
By the time we get to Al's scene and Malkador's scene at the end of the timeline, we're going to pan over and find out that Birdie is in fact the God Emperor of mankind now.
I'm not able to die, and I'm gonna make that everyone else's problem.
Yep.
That's now everyone else's problem.
Birdie really enjoys the power of not being able to die. Birdie also really hates that he can't fucking die.
Yep.
Technically, he does die. He's very, very good at it.
And but Birdie doesn't give a shit if you're. Oh no, Birdie's crew gets. There's far more heresy here than there ever was before. Not demons, but a lot more orcs, and pretty much anybody who will follow Birdie can join up, and just becomes an absolute fucking problem.
All right, I like that. M, do you have anything?
No, I already said that I was done. Let me look at the list. No, I think I'm good.
All right,
What? You up, boy?
Al.
I've I don't think I have anything, but I'll look at the list.
If you want, we could cut it here, and then next time Rob and Deb might have something.
That's true, yeah.
And if
Yeah,
anyone else
that's
wants
true.
to do anything, we can fill it in.
Like, the only thing that was drawing my attention at that moment was I need answers, but that is like that's essentially you get to, through the medium of the game, ask the director the answer to a question, and the only lingering answer is one I know the only lingering question is one I know the answer to, and Claude doesn't. So I don't,
Would that be the reveal?
and I don't think it even makes sense as one that Claude would learn the answer to.
Mm.
So I think I'm good.
I
What's
mean,
the question?
it doesn't have to be a big scene. If you want to ask, you can ask.
I mean, because the thing I know that Claude doesn't is Claude doesn't know how he survived his death, but I know how that happened. And I don't know if there's really a way to work that out into a scene. So, yeah, I think it's fine. I think I'm good.
I think that's the reveal. Whereas the confession tells the player character something the table may already know, the reveal is for the audience.
Ah, yes, actually. If you wanted to do that and you wanted to tell everybody else.
Do you wanna take a week to think about it?
Yeah, I'll take a week to think about it. I'm fine with it not being literally tonight.
Okay. Everybody else cool with a week?
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks if you're gonna play the other game.
Yeah,
I'll let everybody know how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Should know by the end of the week.
Yeah,
It's gonna
should
be-
know by closer to the end of the week.
Okay.
Okay.
But if tonight's any indication, I'm actually doing all right.
You
Yeah.
actually need
Seem
more
pretty good.
practice chatting.
Yeah. Accents are still an issue, you know.
More when you think about them than when you don't.
I'm gonna stop the recording then. Sounds like we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Goodbye, recording.
Bye, recording.
Bye,
Recording.
Bye.